This presentation covers RTD's proposed service changes for June 2026. Let's begin with a quick safety update. In 2025, RTD recorded year-over-year decreases in security-related calls for nearly every month of 2025. In 2025, RTD conducted nearly 5 million fare checks on rail. Currently, RTD Transit Police headcount is at 105 officers as of January 2026. Now, let's go over what service changes are, when they occur, and how they impact RTD services. Now we'll discuss the proposed service changes for June 2026. By the end of this presentation, you will better understand service changes at RTD, including the proposed changes for June 2026. We'll also tell you how you can provide feedback and learn about the next steps in the review process.
3 times a year, RTD reviews, proposes, and implements changes to its service schedule. This is typically done in January, May or June, and August or September. Service changes support multiple objectives, including increase reliability, improve on-time performance, enable represented employees to select work shifts, account for changes in ridership, advance the implementation of RTD's system optimization plan, and support scheduled maintenance projects. RTD classifies changes based on 5 different categories. Route adjustments, which could include detours or changes to routes or stops that optimize efficiency, improve accessibility, respond to changing travel patterns, or facilitate maintenance projects. Service increases, which increase the frequency, number of trips, span of service, or operating hours of a bus route or rail line. A service reduction is a reduction to the frequency, trips, span of service, or operating hours. Seasonal adjustments are temporary modifications made in response to seasonal variations in demand or operational conditions. And lastly, schedule timing are alterations to the running time of bus and rail services, typically to better align with customer demands and trip connections and improve on-time performance.
In this section, we'll explain the proposed changes for June 2026. As we begin this presentation, we'll briefly discuss changes related to Senate Bill 24-230. Due to oil and gas production fees created by SB 24-230, RTD is expecting to receive $9.25 million from a new grant in 2026. The grant, known as the Clean Transit Enterprise Grant, requires RTD to expand transit service through increases to frequency, span, or geography. RTD is currently in the process of completing a contract with the Colorado Department of Transportation to receive the CTE funding. Routes included in the grant application for service changes include the 16th Street Free Ride, routes 19, 21, 22, 37, 53, 80, ART, and the LD3, soon to be known as the 287. First, let's start with proposed changes affecting RTD's rail system.
Depicted here is the proposed June 2026 rail system map.
Due to the temporary suspension of the D line, it's recommended to reinstate the C line during the downtown rail reconstruction project. The C line goes from Denver Union Station to Mineral Station.
RTD proposes implementing a temporary line known as the T line between Lincoln Station and I-25 and Broadway Station. This weekday service would run every 15 minutes from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and every 30 minutes until midnight, Monday through Thursday, or 2 a.m. on Friday. Weekend service on the T line would run every 15 minutes from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and every 30 minutes until 2 a.m. on Saturday and midnight on Sunday. Due to the resumption of the downtown rail reconstruction project, RTD is proposing minor schedule adjustments to the E and W lines to allow for additional rail service at Denver Union Station via the C line.
For the R line, it's proposed to extend service to Ridgegate Parkway while providing 15-minute frequency on weekdays from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Final phases of the downtown rail reconstruction project will not allow for RTD to operate trains at Colfax outer area through the downtown loop. With the C line routing to serve Union Station, there is not enough track capacity to reroute the H line to Union Station. Because of this, it's proposed to suspend service on the H line. If this change is approved, customers would transfer to and from the E line or the T line at Bellevue Station for northbound service.
Due to the resumption of the downtown rail reconstruction project, which will replace rail through downtown, RTD proposes suspending the L line to accommodate customers who use the L line. RTD is proposing to increase the service frequency to 15 minutes for the Route 43. As part of the proposed service increases for June 2026, RTD is recommending increasing the service hours for the Denver Tech Center Flex Ride from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Additionally, RTD is recommending changes to the B line, Union Station to Westminster Station. Under the proposed recommendations, RTD would restore 30-minute peak frequency on weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Lastly, RTD is proposing changes to the G line, Union Station to Wheat Ridge Ward Station. Under this recommendation, RTD would restore 15-minute frequencies weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday and Sundays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Let's talk about the schedule timing changes for bus routes proposed for June 2026. The following routes are proposed to have minor schedule timing adjustments. Route 0, 8, 15, 16, free ride, 17, 19, 20, 21, 36, 37, 51, 92, 104L, 204, and the 225. The route GS, Boulder to Golden, and the jump Boulder to Lafayette to Erie via Arapahoe also have minor scheduling adjustments proposed. Next, let's discuss the service increases proposed for bus routes. RTD is proposing several bus service increases this service change, including the 0L, extending the hours of operation by adding weekday midday service between I-25 and Broadway Station and the Wade Blank Civic Center Station. Route 10, changing the service pattern to operate via 9th and Claremont every 20 minutes, both east and westbound between 6 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. instead of the current 30-minute midday and 15-minute peak period frequency. Hourly trips to Aurora and Colfax and Billings would remain in place. The 16th Street Free Ride, increasing weekday service frequency to every 3 minutes from the current 4.5 minutes. The Route 19, extending the route to serve North Glen and 112th Station. Route 21, increasing the service frequency to 15 minutes. Route 37, increasing the service frequency to 30 minutes during weekday peak periods. Route 43, increasing weekday peak service from every 15 minutes to every 7.5 minutes between Central Park Station and 11th and Larimer Streets. Route 53, reinstating the route to operate 7 days a week between US 36 and Sheridan Station and the Broomfield Municipal Center, with hourly service weekdays, Saturdays, and Sundays and holidays from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Route 80, reinstating the service, which would operate weekdays between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. The Route 104L, adding one eastbound trip at 8:45 p.m. and one westbound trip at 9:15 p.m. daily. The Route ART, increasing weekday service frequency to every 30 minutes. And lastly, Route 287, increasing the service to every 30 minutes during the morning and afternoon peak periods between US 36 and Broomfield Station and the Lafayette Park and Ride. Let's talk about the proposed route adjustments for RTD's bus network.
For Route 15, it's proposed to extend the route to the Amazon warehouse located at 21000 East 13th Avenue in Aurora. Service to the new terminal was suspended until a traffic signal could be installed at Colfax and Piccadilly, which is expected to be in operation prior to the beginning of this next service change.
In addition to minor changes to weekday, Saturday, and Sunday holiday schedules, RTD proposes adjusting the eastbound routing near Oak Station to streamline the path and eliminate inefficient left turns for the Route 17. The proposed pattern would operate from stop 12979, West Colfax and Sim Street, by turning right onto Oak Street and then right onto West Rail Road to serve Oak Station before turning left onto Quayle Street and continuing to the Federal Center Station.
As proposed in the Clean Transit Enterprise grant process and the System Optimization Plan, it's recommended to extend Route 19 to North Glen and 112th Avenue Station, pending the formal CTE funding agreements. As proposed in the Clean Transit Enterprise grant process and the System Optimization Plan, it's proposed for the Route 21 to be split into two separate route services, with service increased to 15 minutes for the 21 East Evans alignment between Evans Station to Aurora Metro Station. The west side of the former Route 21 would be renamed Route 22 West Evans. Following changes proposed for Route 21, a new route designation is recommended. It would be known as Route 22 and include the former alignment of Route 21 west of Evans Station. Previously, this change was presented and adopted in the System Optimization Plan, with the western segment of the former Route 21 being designated as Route 21W. For Route 28, it's proposed to simplify the route by terminating all short-turn trips at the 30th and Downing Station instead of multiple locations during peak periods. This change will make the route more predictable and easier to understand for customers, while maintaining service to key destinations like Central Park Station. For Route 38, it's proposed to move the western terminal to Clear Creek Crossing Transfer Center. This change would maintain service to the newly constructed Lutheran Hospital and provide operator restroom access at the transfer center. For Route 44, it's proposed to straighten the alignment of the westbound pattern of the route to use Broadway and 15th Street in place of Lincoln Street, 18th Street, and California Street to improve on-time performance. From Gate 2, the 44 would take a left on Broadway, right on Cheyenne Place, right on 15th Street, and continue on the rest of the route as it currently exists. The new pattern would move Route 44 inside Wade Blank Civic Center Station at Gate 2. For Route 225, it's proposed to adjust the service pattern to terminate at Willoughby from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Before 7 a.m. and after 7 p.m., the eastern terminal would remain at Lafayette Park and Ride. This change will improve on-time performance and accommodate lack of operator respite access. For the Dash, it's proposed to update the service pattern to terminate at Canterbury Drive / Willoughby Boulevard between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Outside of these hours, the eastern terminal would be Lafayette Park and Ride. This change would account for seasonal demand changes and would improve on-time performance. In this section, we'll explain the proposed service reduction changes for June 2026. For the Platte Valley Flex Ride, it's proposed to discontinue operation of the service. For Route 7, it's proposed to reduce to 60 minutes versus 30 minutes after 10 p.m. weekdays. For 112, it's suggested to discontinue various evening trips due to low ridership. For 120, it's proposed to discontinue the weekday 10 p.m., 11 p.m. westbound trips and 10:02 p.m. eastbound trips due to low ridership. For Route 228, it's proposed to discontinue the weekday 9:07 p.m. northbound and 9:17 p.m. southbound trips. It's also proposed to discontinue the Saturday-Sunday 8:07 p.m. northbound trip and the 8:13 p.m. southbound trip. For Route 520, it's proposed to discontinue weekday 7:45 p.m. westbound trip and the 8 p.m. eastbound trip due to low ridership. In this section, we'll explain the proposed seasonal adjustment changes for June 2026. It's proposed to suspend seasonal service for the following routes: Route 11, 15, 20, 24, 35, 42, 45, 51, routes 65, 73, 225, Dash, Jump, NB, and Skip. Now we'll discuss how to provide feedback and input. Whether you are a frequent customer or community member affected by changes at RTD, your feedback is important to us. There are many ways you can provide public comment on the proposed service changes for June 2026. To provide feedback online, visit www.rtd-denver.com/service-changes to complete an online survey. If you wish to provide feedback over the phone, contact our customer care team during normal business hours at 303-299-6000. The RTD team hosts events in the community throughout the year, during which you can also provide public comment. Visit the RTD events page to see where we will be next. If you prefer to provide comment via email, send a note over to service.change@rtd-denver.com. Finally, all customers and members of the public are invited to attend RTD Board of Directors meetings. Finally, we'll discuss the timeline and next steps for the proposed June 2026 service changes. From February 18th to March 4th, public meetings and activities to solicit feedback will be conducted. On March 4th, public comment and feedback deadline will occur. On March 11th, the proposed service changes and public comments will be shared with the Operations, Safety, and Security Committee. On March 24th, the Board of Directors will take action on the proposed June 2026 service changes. If approved, the service changes will take effect on June 7th. Thank you for writing RTD.